everybody, Ellen here. Welcome back to a new video. Today I thought I would do my July wrap-up, and let's just say that reading went very well in July. I ended up reading 16 books in about 18 days, and then after that not much happened. Because you know, life. But yeah, I thought I would tell you guys what I read and what I thought about them. This is in no particular order because I have no idea which order I read anything. But I did end up reading 2 volumes of this manga, which is called Not Your Idol by Aoi Makino. So this is volume 1 and volume 2. I got this from my friend Jamie, so thank you very much for that. Basically, we follow this girl who used to be sort of this pop sensation in this sort of band together with some other girls, and she was attacked one day, and then she decided to opt out of the group, and she is sort of undercover, if you will, because she is actually dressed as a boy at this point, trying not to get noticed, and she goes to this ordinary high school and everything like that. But one day someone finds out who she really is, and you know, shit happens. So just really quick mangas, really beautiful illustrations, some interesting characters, although very sexualized because the characters are supposed to be 15 years old. So that rubbed me the wrong way, but I guess it's manga that way. But yeah, I ended up giving both of these volumes 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then we also have The Stolen Prince of Cloudburst by Jacqueline Moriarty. This is book 3 in, I want to say the series is called Kingdoms of Empires or something like that. I don't remember, but this is book 3, and this is illustrated by one of my favorite illustrators at this point, which is Carl James Manford, and you know, look at that gorgeousness. In this one we meet Esther, and she is the middle child. She's actually the cousin of Bronte Metalstone, which is the character we follow in the first novel, and Esther goes to this sort of boarding school, and there's some things going on. There's some mysterious creatures attacking the school. People are getting attacked and sick, and weird shit is going on, and Esther tries to figure out what's happening. There's also some rumors about this teacher at the school, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's about 450-ish pages, and I flew through this one so quickly. It's definitely addictive reading, and I do wish I had book 4 in my hands right now. But yeah, I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read Ghost Squad by Claribel Ortega, and we follow our 2 main characters who are trying to protect the sort of life essence of these ghosts that one of the girls have from all of her relatives, are sort of like fireflies and ghosts depending on where they're at, and they try to save them, and it turns out there's some ghosts on the loose, and maybe they make some very bad mistakes that they have to correct. We also get to meet one of the girls' grandmother, who may or may not be a witch. This was, I mean, this is really short, and this definitely took me a lot longer to read than I thought it would. I did like the girls' friendship, but I do feel like everything kind of resolved a little bit too easily. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about this. I did love the cat though, that was pretty funny. But yeah, I ended up giving this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read Borrow My Heart by Casey West. This was such a quick, short read. If you followed me for a while, you know that Casey West is one of my auto authors, and that's for a reason. So in this one we meet Ren, and she sort of saves this guy named Asher from making a fool out of himself, or being ridiculed by his friend actually, because he is being stood up by this sort of internet person that he met, and Ren kind of rescues him from, you know, having to admit the fact that he was stood up. So she kind of swoops in like a knight in shining armor, pretending to be the girl he was supposed to meet, and they end up becoming, you know, an item, I guess, from that. There's a lot of twists and turns in this book. I love the characters. I love the friendships of this book between a lot of different characters. There were definitely some family dynamics that were a little bit iffy, you know, a lot of conversations and disputes about that. And we also get to follow the main character Ren, who works at this sort of dog animal shelter, which is awesome. There's also, they're trying to get one of the dogs adopted, and it's hilarious and it's really funny. But yeah, overall a really quick read. I flew through this one. I think I read it in like one day or something like that. It was awesome. I mean, it was not even 300 pages, so I mean, it was a quick read. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. There was some sort of things in the end that I don't want to spoil, that didn't really go as I had hoped or as I thought they should have, I guess. And I was a little bit surprised by certain things, which lowered my overall rating a little bit. So I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. We have The Red Palace by June Her, which is a book I've been wanting to read for like forever. This is sort of a historical book set in this 1758. So we follow this main character. She is a nurse at the palace and she stumbles across some dead bodies. Let's just say, leave it at that. And she's sort of trying to help the investigations without like being in contact with the police, honestly, because one of her sort of mentors, old friends, is being accused of being the murderer, even though our main character definitely believes that she's innocent. So she tries to do some, you know, recon on her own. This is not a very long book, but it definitely took me longer to read than I thought it would, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I had hoped. But I mean, it was an interesting concept and some unforeseen twists and turns and stuff like that, which I really did enjoy. And I do want to read more books by this author. I know she has another book coming out, I want to say next year, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I ended up giving this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then we actually have one of my self-destruct books, which I finally read. And this is There's Something About Sweetie by Zendaya Manan. So in this one, we meet Sweetie, obviously, and we meet Asish, who is the younger brother of Rishi, which we meet in like the first book. And Asish's mother tries to fix the two of them up. Sweetie's mother is not interested. She thinks that people will laugh at them if Sweetie is seen with Asish, because Sweetie is a little bit bigger than Asish is, and she just wants to protect Sweetie. Honestly, Sweetie's mom drove me insane. She was horrible. A lot of prejudice towards her daughter's weight, and she kept being afraid of what people would think about her or say about her, but the only one saying and thinking those things turned out to be her. Sweetie was really comfortable in her own body and stuff like that, so I hated her mom. But all the other characters in this book was so good. I loved Sweetie and Asish as relationship and like all the friendships between the friends and stuff. And yeah, I really ended up enjoying this one. It was a really quick read, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. And then we also have The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England by Brandon Sanderson, illustrated by Steve Argyle. And this one is one of the secret projects. This is number 2. This is not part of the Cosmere world. We meet this guy named Johnny. He ends up in medieval England, obviously, you know, the title. And he has no memories of how he got there, why is he there, how is he supposed to get home or anything like that. So he has to work together with the people who actually live there and try to figure out who is and everything like that. And the illustrations in this book is absolutely gorgeous. I love them so much. This is when he first arrives in medieval England, so it's not like a spoiler or anything. And like, hello. So yeah, beautiful illustrations. It was somewhat of a quick read, although I didn't feel like I had to pick it up like all the time, which is unusual when it's a Brandon Sanderson book. I don't know, I wasn't as captivated by it as I usually am. I mean, it was supposed to be sort of like magic and technology and just trying to survive in this medieval England, and there were some sort of mythological beings, gods and stuff along with it. But I felt like everything kind of resolved sort of easily throughout the book. I wanted more action, I wanted more magic, I wanted more issues, more problems, I don't know. So yeah, I ended up giving this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then we have a shit ton of library books or mangas that I've read and ebooks. So the first one is If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. We follow our main character who is plus size. She ends up joining this sort of bachelorette type TV show because her mother needs more people going into the show because some people dropped out. So she's supposed to go there to win the heart of the suitor, trying to make herself known for her shoes and accessories that she makes, trying to break into the business. So I really ended up enjoying this book. I really thought that the romance in this book was really interesting and fun. It was a very nice growing relationship, and also the sort of bachelorette aspect was really entertaining as well. So I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, which is a adult romance book. This was a really long ass book. It was over 400 pages. We meet the main character who was an sort of an former OnlyFans creator, and she ends up taking this job as a nanny for this guy named Aiden, and you know, romance ensues. And I really enjoyed their relationship and also the main character's budding friendship with the daughter Sophie. And yeah, it definitely took me a while to read this book because it was a heck of a lot longer than I thought, because I read it on my e-reader. But yeah, it was entertaining. I like the relationship, like I said. I do feel like when they finally did get together, there was smut on every single page, which made it like, it made the entire like plot like break. So like, it sort of just stopped. It would come to a breaking halt every time because there was smut like every 2 pages, and it was a lot for a while. So that definitely brought the overall rating down a bit, but I did end up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I also read In an Absent Dream by Shauna McGuire. This is about kids going into different doors, going to different worlds. The main character in this book was kind of boring. I didn't really like reading from her point of view. The friend she makes in this world is really freaking annoying and just kind of uses the main character, I feel like. And yeah, she didn't really add much to the friendship, I feel like. So I didn't really enjoy this book very much. I only ended up giving it 2 stars, and that's like the lowest I've given any of these books in this series, so didn't really go as planned. And then I also read The Food Wars Volume 1. This is a new manga that I found on the library. I hadn't really heard much about it. I had heard Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin read it, and he really did enjoy it, so saw it, figured I'd try it out. And it was, I mean, it was it's Food Wars, they're competing about food. It was really I liked the illustrations. It was a really interesting plot. It was a lot of fun, really quick read, and I'm definitely going to continue on with this series. I ended up giving this volume 4.5 out of 5 stars. Then I also ended up reading The Promised Neverland Volume 7, and you guys know I love this manga series. And they do have like almost all of them at my library. I figured I'd continue on with it. Definitely do get some answers. There's definitely a lot of new questions. There's some weird shit going on in this volume, but it's so entertaining. It's such a quick read. It's so much fun. So I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Then I also read Sailor Moon Volume 2. I do own the first volume, but this one I actually ended up borrowing from the library because I happened to see it. And I mean, they're supposed to, you know, protect the world and the innocent and whatnot, and they have different powers. And I'm still not sure what I think about this series, honestly. I'm not sure if it's for me or not. I think I might give it another chance for like the 3rd volume. I don't know, but I'm just not like hooked on the characters or the plot or anything, although I do find the concept interesting. But yeah, I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars, so it's definitely a step up from the first volume. And then I also read Dr. Stone Volume 1. So basically, every person in the world and animals and everything like that turned into, you know, stone. And then we have two characters who after a few thousand years end up breaking through the stone, they're coming alive again. The first character gets out 6 months before the second one, and they have to work together to try to save, you know, civilization and stuff like that. This volume was such a quick read. I really enjoyed the illustrations. I like the characters, I like the plot. There's definitely some intrigue, some problems going on, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm definitely going to continue on with this series, and I gave this volume 4 out of 5 stars. And then the very last book I ended up finishing was Föda utan rädsla, which I borrowed from my library to, you know, be prepared for childbirth and stuff. And I did not end up giving this book any star rating. Definitely got some tips and tricks, which was good, but also some of it was kind of, I don't know what to think about it, because it felt a little bit like you wanted to laugh at it. So I don't know. So I didn't end up giving it a star rating at all. But yeah, very informative, I guess. And then I actually did start another book, which I came like halfway through. And if life hasn't come in the way, I definitely would have finished it. But that was The Wizard of Wands by Cressida Cowell, and this is the first book in the series. It does have some illustrations in it, which I don't really know what I think about them, honestly. They're a little bit too scratchy for my taste. I don't know how else to describe it. It's quite a quick read when I do pick it up, but I don't feel like the pull to pick it up, and I've been reading this for the last few weeks. I do not end up reading very much each and every time I pick it up, and I don't really know what I think about it. Like I said, I was about halfway through this one when the month ended. I'm definitely going to try to power through and finish it in August, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I think if I haven't forgotten anything, those were all of the 16 books I read in the month of July. Definitely my best reading month in a really long time. It is August 5th as of filming this, so I know I'm late. But I also have to tell you guys that reading in August is a catastrophe once again, and I feel like I have a valid excuse this time. But yeah, it's not going great. But I'm gonna try to pick up, you know, for the rest of the month, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought about them, without spoiling, of course. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day or night, and I hope we see each other in the next one. Bye!